Hi everyone, thanks for finding me here at Forever Connected. I'm Lisa, and I want to teach you about what's called fingerspelling, which is also the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, all the way through. The reason that I want to teach you about fingerspelling is that it's often used to communicate very clearly what you're really talking about. So, for example, I was just telling my friend that this is the sign to cook. So you're like flipping pancakes or whatever. But if you initialize it, this is the letter K, and don't worry, I'll teach you here in a second. This is the letter K. If you do this in the same hand shape, same motion, everything, that's kitchen. So it can really clarify what you're actually talking about. Fingerspelling is used for names. Fingerspelling is used for different signs like math. You got two M's, math. But it's a really important part of communicating. And like I keep saying as we go along here, I'm not here to teach you ASL, American Sign Language. I'm here to help you communicate with people who are losing their hearing. I am passionate about eliminating the isolation that's caused by old age, hearing loss. And I really want people to be included. The isolation that happens just automatically when people are losing their hearing, the person themselves tend to kind of give up, and they don't understand, and it's really frustrating. They can become angry, they can become depressed, they can become embarrassed often. That's why they won't wear their hearing aids, or, oh, I forgot my glasses. You know, aging is tough, aging is terrible, but I don't want people to get isolated. I want them to be connected forever. That's the sign for connection. Isn't that a beautiful sign? Love it. So let's do some fingerspelling. Now for me, when I was in school, people always ask me, I'm a sign language interpreter. I've been in the deaf community for over 25 years. And people often ask me, how did I become an interpreter? And my answer is that I was just curious. That's all. For 10 years, I wanted to learn sign language. I kept bumping into deaf people and thinking I should learn some sign language. And I finally took a class. And for me, learning this language, it didn't come easy by any stretch of the imagination, but I was always making up little tricks in my head on how to memorize things, like the alphabet. Really tough at the beginning. Some letters look like the letters they are, some don't. So let's get into this. And I want this to be a little different than the other videos that I've seen online. I see different videos and they tend to just do A, B, C. I want to give you the full hand, the full view, and maybe some tricks to help you remember. So let's get into this. This is the letter A. So your thumb has to be on the outside of your hand, not wrapped around, and your hand just a soft fist, and that's what the letter A looks like. Okay? B, and your thumb is just over the front. Make sure that you're talking to the person you're talking to. In this case, I'm talking to the camera, I'm talking to you. But don't talk to yourself. Now you're just talking to yourself. If you make the B and you're looking at it, that's not how you do it. Make sure that you're projecting out to whoever you're talking to. Letter C, pretty easy. Again, make sure that you're doing it this way, not toward yourself. You're making sure that the people that are looking at your hands are getting the C. D kind of looks like a little D, and basically this way, so it's the side of your hand toward the person you're talking to, but that's the letter D. E, you pull your fingers in. When I first started sign language, I used to be an auto mechanic. Another interesting fact about me, right? I used to be an auto mechanic, and all the years of turning wrenches and turning screwdrivers, I had really bad pain in my hands and my wrists. So when I started sign language, I really had a tough time making the letter E. I could not pull my hand together like that. So I'm very happy to say that that eventually dissipated because I got into sign language and it was a cool thing. So E comes in with your thumb over. It can be a little more open. F is like the okie dokie sign. Get all three fingers up in the air and just pinch your thumb and forefinger like this, and that's the letter F. G, how do I describe it? It looks like a little pinchy thing. And then you turn it sideways so that you're looking at the back of your hand basically. H, the next one, just puts another finger out there. So you have two fingers out for the letter H. So G and H. Letter I looks like the letter I, right? One of the things that everybody loves to know is how to do the I love you symbol. The reason this is I love you is because that's the letter I, L, Y. I love you. I love you. I, and then J, same thing, start with your finger up and just draw a J. And again, draw it toward the person you're talking to. If you're talking over there, you do it over there. You're talking over there, you do it over there. But basically make sure that you're talking to the people, not to yourself. No. Make sure that you're using your dominant hand. The thing in sign language is the non-dominant hand has a purpose. Oftentimes, like at the beginning, I talked about kitchen. This is your pan or whatever that you're flipping over. Non-dominant hand does very little movement, does very little compared to your dominant hand. So if you're right-handed, you're going to do all this with your right hand. And you could do it with your left hand, and people who are talking and conversing oftentimes will switch, which is really confusing sometimes. But yeah, you want to use your dominant hand. So if you're left-handed, maybe I should have been doing them all together. They're all the same though. Letter K is one of the most difficult hand shapes, I think. I really struggled with it. Maybe it's not for everybody, but basically you've got one finger up and one finger at an angle and your thumb in between. So I'm going to spin this around a little bit. That's the K. Okay, so left-handed, same thing. It's important that your index finger is pointing up, because as soon as you start to tip it down, it becomes the letter P. Okay, so make sure when you're doing K that you're pointing straight up in the air, and that's the hand shape. And I can't think of anything else we use that hand shape with other than K and P. So that's the letter K, H-I-J-K-L. L, just the letter L, left-handed L. And again, palm, you're talking to these people. I'm talking to you. I'm showing you this stuff, not me. Don't do it towards yourself. That's just important as you practice. LM, and my dear friend Dylan was saying, why is that an M? I said, well, M has these humps, right? Looks like an M. That could be an M. So you basically 3 fingers over your thumb. You've got your thumb holding onto your pinky. That's your M. And then when you tuck one in, you've got N, because N just has the 2 bumps, right? So N, O, pretty basic, but again, it's this way, this side of your hand shaping away, not O. You don't want to twist too much. You don't want to talk to yourself, but also you want to be as relaxed as you can so you don't end up hurting yourself. LMNOP, okay, we already talked about P. It's the same K hand shape, but it's the index finger is pointing down. It can go as low as you want. I mean, you can do P all the way down here, but anytime, as soon as it goes from straight up, that's a P, that's a P, that's a P. They're all anything other than straight up, okay? Q is an interesting one. It's, again, the pinchy hand shape of the letter G, but it's straight down. So Q, you don't move it at all, just Q. R is the one I had the most trouble with, and I don't know why. I think I thought, now I'll confuse you, ready? I think I thought it looked like an X, and so I just kept getting stuck that that was an X, and this is X. It looks like a little R. Those were the hardest 2 for me. I don't know what might be stumbling block for you, but for me, R was a tough one. So that's the letter R. Make up something in your head that makes sense. S is like the letter A, but with your thumb over your fingers. So that's the letter S. T, the letter T comes in real handy when you want to talk to an elderly person, then you want to know if they need to go to the bathroom. That's the sign for bathroom. So that's a good example of how we use initialization to let people know what we're talking about. The letter T, shake like this, toilet, bathroom. So T, I keep forgetting my alphabet. T, U, U, just 2 letters, 2 fingers rather, up in the air like this, not backwards like this. U. Now, some people get real worried when they're talking to me and they don't know sign language and they start moving their hands around and they think that they're worried they're going to say something bad or wrong or dirty or just different. You got the letter U. If you do this, that's not a bad sign, but that's wrong. So you want the palm of your hand away. Letter U. V. V. Pretty easy, right? U, V. W. Now, W, if you have technically, you've got your pinky tucked in under your thumb, that's W. If you put your finger to your thumb, that's the number 6. So you're probably not going to confuse people, but it is a little tiny difference between 6 and W. W6. And I'll teach numbers in another video. But that's W, so it looks like a W. Again, palm facing away from you toward the person you're talking to. W. X, which now it looks like an X to me, but it sure didn't when I was learning. So I don't know why, but that's the letter X. Y, kind of looks like a Y. You got the V shape and this coming down, so you got the letter Y. Important that is facing away from you. You go this way and you might as well be partying. That's the sign for party, play, party, or you're what is it like?
Hang loose.
Hang loose, thank you. I was thinking surfers. Yeah, dude. Anyway, yeah. So this way, Y. And then Z, you just draw it. Z. Just draw the Z out with your index finger. The J you draw with your pinky finger. J, Z is with your index finger. Z. So that is the alphabet. That can be so helpful. If you're talking to friends, you know, I was talking to a friend of mine about this new idea I had for helping people communicate. And she was talking about that she had just gone to a concert the night before, and she was wishing that she'd known the sign for bathroom because it's so loud you can't hear anything. She was wishing that she could have just signed to her friend that she was going to the bathroom. She goes, you could have signs specific for people who go to loud venues and, you know, whatever. And I'm like, oh, so many options. So excited to share all this with you. It's not easy to learn, but you can learn. And if you have any questions, comment, send me an email, find me online. I'm happy to clear things up. Remember to look for me. My website is www.foreverconnected23 because I started the business in 2023 and .com. So foreverconnected23.com. Look for me on social media, ask me questions, tell me what you need, but for absolutely best possible situation is to be forever connected. Stay connected to the people who are losing their hearing because they need you to figure it out. Okay, don't give up. Have fun. Okay, bye.